Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Today is great. We are going to make one coat out of this material inspired in the movie. So let's go. The coat is for a musical video and my character will represent a rich woman, a little bit eccentric, a little bit evil. Originally, I wanted to go for a cape because in my views, the capes will be a theme in the future fashion industry. So I took some inspiration on my Pinterest and I was going to ask the producer what he thought, and then he said, no, better let's do a coat. And I said, okay, let's do a coat. So I took the picture of the material because that way will be more easier for me to make the illustration. So I started and make one illustration and I show it to him and he liked it. But he told me that if I do it a little bit longer would have been better. So I went back to the drawing board and did my second drawing. Please notice that I did exaggerated colors, a little bit of the flare skirt, very tight at the top part. The cuff of the sleeve were really big, and I did my whole illustration in the fashion design terms, and this is the one that I started to work with. But this one is just a look. I really can work with that, but it's better if I do the flats. So after my illustration was done, I proceed to make the flats to understand what I'm gonna do. For that, I did a figure more proportional, 8 head, and then I started to draw the details in each one, the front and the back. Then I started to think about what cut I was gonna do, where I will locate the pocket and how, and the size of the collar or how much it will stand up, the cut at the back, and everything to have the design ready to work. After my flats were done, then I proceed to cut. I usually start by making a basic pattern. This, for example, I'm working in the front part. It seems very mechanic because you always basically do the same step. So I basically just go ra 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 and then do all of them because I practically know them by heart. For example, now what I'm trying to do is locate the boss point, and then this is the boss line, and then I will make the sides. After my patterns were done, then I do what we call a 3/4. This 3/4 is what will help me to do the body pattern. This is the pattern of the collar that I first put it in the mannequin. If you see, I crumble a little bit so it takes a little bit more flexibility like fabric, and then I put it just to confirm that the collar will be more or less in the way I want it. And then when I had my pattern, I put it in my mannequin and I confirm as well that this is more or less what I was looking for. Then I proceed and make the back for my body, and after that I saw that everything was okay with the pattern and I decided to cut. For cutting, you have to be careful with the grain of the material and the way that the lint and the fur direction. Of course, this is not fur. No puppies were harmed in this video. Well, so you have to be careful about that. I mark my pattern and I proceed to cut. You have to be careful when you cut the fur because all the little hair are all over, so I have to cover everything before work on that. I'm working by myself. I have to have everything covered to work with this material. I started sewing my body part. I saw the collar and I put it on the mannequin and I see that it's looking good. I'm not sure about the belt. I didn't put it in my design, but I think a belt might look good. And about the length, I'm not sure if it should be a little longer or a little shorter. We will see after. Now I'm gonna cut the lining. And in this time I can put the pieces, one for the top, one on the bottom. It really doesn't matter so much. I will mark my lining with the chalk. This time I'm using a good old Taylor chalk, the first chalk that were in the market, because my material is very silky, and if I use waxed, it will mark the material and it won't look really good. What I'm doing, I'm marking and then I will cut inside the mark and everything will be okay. After that, I'm working a little bit with my collar. I will put an interfacing so the collar will be a little bit more stiffer, so we'll go up more and see that I'm following the grain again, the grain of the fur to sew it. Here I'm marking some stitches that I want to do. This is to sew the collar, so I have to mark the center and the quarter and those things. Now I'm going back to my lining and I'm serging, although I really don't need to serge the lining. I serge it because sometimes I prefer, when I work with fur, I prefer to leave lining and hem separate because this is the right way, but because this is not really real fur, I'm not sure if I will gonna do or not, but just in case. So this is my lining, it's already done. This is my sleeve, and this sleeve, as I told you, I am making very bulky, so it's like will be an excess of material, but I'm doing that on purpose. So I'm preparing my sleeve and I will sew everything together now. And here you go, this is the design done. And as I said, what I was thinking, what I had in mind is the personality. It's like a little bit evil woman. She wants to be very dramatic, but these times are a little bit more minimalistic. So I tried to fuse these two things in one. I still kept the red lining and the big puff sleeves. I got a belt just in case. I want to give you the details, what I thought about in the construction. So this is a huge collar because of the character in this video is like a rich person, an eccentric, a little bit eccentric. Another thing that I want to show you is the cut. I did this cut like this and like that, just to have like a kind of vintage look, which add as well a little bit of taste. Other detail is the sleeves. As you can see, the sleeves are very well shaped. Then I did here an oversized, like a tight, it's a lot of material. Like I wouldn't do this cuff like that, but for the purpose, it was very good. This is what they want. Another thing that I want to add, this is the cut. You see, it's like a kind of vintage look, and this is a pocket. And I don't know if you see, but this cut comes like that and then opens a little bit so the pocket falls in the right position. Then, as you must know, I did here the red lining, which make better finish, and my hem and the hem. And here you go. And if you want more information in one of the details of the code, please let me know. I didn't want it to overwhelm you with too much information, just the general way to do it. And if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and give us a like. Bye.